campaigns against Egypt back then at that time. They played a key role. The United Arab Emirates played a key role in that particular sector of the story.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Emirates and the Saudis also. The Saudi foreign minister, the only member.
The Saudis has the real key role, or the leading role in standing as a
they have gone to France and to Europe, and they have stated firmly that we are beside Egypt, and you have to support this government, which is backed by its millions of its people. The Emirates also is doing the same. The political maneuvers and steps taken by Egypt also is encouraging them to see that we have a government and a president which is popular and supported by and backed by his own people. The political and security situation in the whole region is giving the reason for us as Arabs to solidarity and to support each other, because the challenges and the threats are facing everybody, not only Egypt. If you look to the whole area outside, around us, we see what's going on in Syria, in Iraq, and Libya, Yemen. All these challenges, they are not just going on haphazardly. They are intended to destabilize the region. So the Arab countries and the Gulf states especially have known that this is only their fate. It's not only Egypt's fate.
Right. You actually see there is no doubt of the loyalty and honorable stance that those two countries, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and even Bahrain, took during tense times of Egypt to be able to support it. Financially and politically also, ever since ousting the Brotherhood and even before. But some political analysts, mainly Westerns, say that they are not supporting the current regime of al-Sisi in the sense they used to support the regime of Mubarak, because he was a strong ally of the GCC, and because of his immediate backup and support to Kuwait by the time of the Iraqi invasion. They say that the current support of those countries to the regime of al-Sisi, which is mainly us, Egypt also, is supporting the non-extremist, moderate, modern regime against the extremism of the jihadist militants in the region, and also to be able to guarantee and provide stability and security by Egypt backing up the backup of a strong country like Egypt logistically in the region against the expansion of the jihadist militants. How do you read this statement by some political leaders?
Well, as you said, they are mainly they are supporting Egypt as a country. Whatever regime is there, provided that this regime is not like a brotherhood, which is trying to destabilize the region. Whether they are cooperating with Mubarak, or they are cooperating with President Sisi and his government now, they are cooperating with Egypt. And still the interests and the challenges and the threats are mutual. When the Gulf states or the aid of the Arab states are cooperating and supporting Egypt, they are also defending their interests, and they are caring for their own national security and stability. And even if you talk about economic and trade and business and investment cooperation, it's also give and take. It's not one-sided cooperation. Of course, supported us financially at the beginning. They have given us cash money, donations, and a lot of help since 30th of June, but now they are coming to us and they're trading with us and they have investors coming to us. This is also a mutual interest because they're big firms and companies. They will gain profit here in Egypt. Egypt is a very big market and with a 90 million population. So this chance is not available in any other country in the region. And relatively, Egypt is stable comparing to other Arab countries in the region.
Right.
So cooperating with any regime, whether it is President Sisi or before Mubarak, it is cooperating with Egypt.
If you could allow me, we have with us Dr. Gamal Al-Ayoubi over the phone, the political analyst over the phone right now. And good evening to you, Dr. Al-Ayoubi.
Good evening to you, and nice for all of you.
Thank you very much. And we were talking about the foreign policy our leadership is playing right now to be able to strengthen and widen its ties with the Arab states, mainly the Gulf states in the neighboring countries in the region. And while we are taking a closer look over those attempts and efforts, the relationships with those countries, we are all very familiar with the role that the key role that Egypt is playing in the region as a strong and as a wise leadership in supporting the secular political parties in the groups in Libya and in maybe Syria and Iraq. And also Saudi Arabia is proud of the fact that Egypt was willing to provide military assistance to stop any possible threat on the borders, especially the borders that Saudi Arabia is keen about securing. So if you can shed some light on that role played by Egypt in that particular sense.
Okay, just hanging to that one, you know well that the languages between the countries is an expectation of the more strongest. So the language is the strongest. Who is the strongest type of power has the ultimate restriction, also the ultimate influence. What happened in terms of relation that the situation to move Egypt forward positively, that needs to improve that the foundation of Egypt in terms of how the plurality of Egypt in power to the peoples and also the influence directly to Arabian countries. You know well that Arabian countries in terms of military power and military institution was not so historically improved yet like compared to Egypt. We have a military institution, and this is why historical has influences in the ground. We have well-organization movements in the ground in respect to the international military media. Egypt one of the most strongest and easy to move across the Middle East. And this is still happened in Iraq, opening in the first approach of the Gulf action and Gulf return back Crete area, which is calling it by Saddam in that time. And also we have seen that the influences also for the military of Egyptian attitude of soldiers and officers in the last cooperation with Emirates in this area showed that the way that added value to the military movement in the areas like Emirates, which is very tight boundaries to Iran, and the area of the action of Iran is clear now vision improved the way of spreading the Emirates and supported by Egyptian soldiers attitude and their experiences. I think all this sanction and the way that we are dealing with our borders, specifically the north border with Israel and also the south border with Sudan, all the way that we try to capture and stop it in invasion of the tourism across these critical hotspot areas has been succeeded well by the controlling of a military Egyptian institute. then this is also additional value to trust and this text of security, which is the other value of trusting to the all Arabian countries. And the relation improved day by day because I think when the historical at the same time that the all Arabian countries believe deeply, very much that the strongest power of Egypt, meaning the continuous strength of Arabian countries.
Right. Dr. Al-Yudi, one more question. The cooperation between Egypt and those two Gulf states, mainly Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, there is a term known as limiting Iran's political and religious expansion in the region. If you could agree with me, if this term could be taken seriously or not. But how do you assess the cooperation between Egypt and those two Gulf states confronting some dangers like that?
We have our President is
Given the fact what's happening in Yemen right now,
with the clear words that the security of Arabian countries and specifically the Gulf is the same security for Egypt. So whatever happens, whatever any countries like Iran, like Israel, whatever happens, we are capable as Egyptian and military institute, we are spread across the area. We have the topography understood well as a mapping to our military institute, and the benefit of these Arabian countries is our benefit too. So it's clear message to Iran, it's clear message whatever to Hezbollah, it's clear message to even to Israel or any around that we are able and capable to do whatever may needed or suffered by this area, and we can capable to secure